Good afternoon, everyone. It's Hanifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, I thought I would talk to you or share with you my contemplation about so much of what we see around us regularly. And of course, we might be hearing about some things in the news, and you might know that I don't normally listen to the news, but I do actually see updates that are happening through various things on my computer because the news is all around us, of course, and I do listen to the radio, and we hear about conflict regularly. And I thought today I would talk a little bit about conflict and about the individual and then the universe. And we can think about the cosmos as the universe. And I came across this beautiful quotation, which is by Carl Jung, and it says, "In all chaos there is a cosmos, in all disorder a secret order." Now, cosmos as a word literally means order, and so this secret order. And you know that I don't work with large organizations in terms of politics or the government or that sort of idea, but I do work with individuals, and quite honestly, I feel that the strength is at the individual level. And we can see if we are just reflecting on world events throughout history, it's for millennia really, we see oftentimes nation against nation, one religion, one culture against another, man against woman, all of these differences that people can look at and often do consciously and not consciously. And this is the point I'd like to make for this video, is recognizing that wherever we create division between you and me, there arises a space of conflict or potential conflict, and it is almost inevitable. So, in the West, certainly, and I do believe this is happening in the East and all over the world now too, there is this whole focus on the individuality. Like, make sure you know yourself as an individual. Who are you? How do you think? And how do you feel about things? And that's your opinions. And to be politically correct, we must respect everyone's individual opinions. And this has been one aspect which in some ways has been really beneficial, in terms of it's allowed people to openly express hurt sometimes truths that are not being revealed, and lots of good things have come from this, is what I'm trying to say. And yet there's some not so good things too, because people have become very free with saying very rude or aggressive or not kind words, and then behaving in rude and aggressive ways. And we can see that this happens in the bigger scheme of things when we're seeing wars and definitely innocent lives lost. And then we're also seeing this in terms of individuals with each other. And I work at the level of the individual, and individual, even though we are of our own thought patterns, our own life experiences, which does shape our own expressions, whether it's verbal or even from our thought level. And do you remember, I actually feel that at the thought level is where the biggest strength lies in all of us. And unless we're actually reflecting on our thoughts and understanding how we are thinking and what does this mean and how does this affect the world, recognizing that thoughts have power, thoughts have strength, perhaps allows us to be a little bit more mindfully attentive. And today, I thought I'd actually share with you that a few years ago I had spoken at, what's the name of this place? It was the International Forum for Psychoanalytic Education. The International Forum for Psychoanalytic Education. And this, of course, is a beautiful organization. But I have to tell you that its speakers and group coordinators are really quite incredible with the things that they speak about, they share, they encourage in terms of just an openness of thinking. And I really like it. So not that I've got a plug for it or that I am encouraging that this is the only place or that I've got any benefit coming from sharing this with you. But the reason I'm bringing it up is because years ago, so it was 2019, I had to look it up because I knew it was a little bit of time ago, but I couldn't remember which year. It was 2019. I spoke, and the presentation that I shared with this group was called Is That Me I See in You? Is that me I see in you? And I would say that it probably started, or actually was probably at some good time in my own personal development in this area. And this thought itself of is that me I see in you allowed me to share with the group that was listening about how similar we all are. And this is definitely something that is very much foremost in my mind these days for quite some time. And I can tell you that whether I'm in Ontario or whether I'm in Bali, both of those times I've noticed that people will say, oh, people over there are like this. And I don't believe that. When we look at ourselves, psychologically, we are all the same. We go through hurts, we go through insecurities, we go through fears, we go through anxieties, we go through joys, and we go through passions and desires and interests and boredom, and all of those things psychologically are the same here as they are there. And then when we look at anything that we create a division in, so this presentation that I made was for a conference that was titled Borders. And so this is the borders I wanted to talk about between people, that sometimes we create borders. So again, sometimes it can be just because of a particular sex that, well, I'm female, so this is how women are, and men are like this. And we might look at patterns of behavior, but when we look at psychology, the compassion, the love, the anger, the greed, the jealousy, all of it is the same for all. And this is such an important space for us to recognize and value, because unless we do, we create a natural border between each other. And so when we look at someone else being different, so we do this in terms of, again, culture, community, country, nation, religion, spirituality, anything, we will look at differences, and it does not help to unite us for the depth of the truth that is there, that we are the same. And this sounds so simple when we talk about it, and certainly we teach our kids this of, you're just the same as that little girl, or that little boy is exactly like you, that sort of idea. But even at that age, I've heard a lot of parents saying, well, their family is this community, and so they're different, they're different. And are they? I don't feel that at all. And so I'm certainly always strongly encouraging people as parents to also be sharing this awareness with truth from their heart, to truly believe this, and not only children to understand this, because that's great at the child level. How are they reflecting this from the adult experience? So do I think of myself as different from my neighbor? Do I think of myself as different from the group down the street? Do I think of myself psychologically as better than or lesser than? Because that then becomes ego, and it's not the true essence of who we are. And so today I would love for you to reflect on that for 5 minutes after this video, because it's such an important concept to understand and then truly act from. Acting from this space is happening now. It's not, I should think that way, or I didn't think that way before. It's, am I thinking that way now? This is the moment of action. Those thoughts actually feed not only ourselves, but the people closest to us, of course, and the world around us. So can you imagine how many people are creating divisions where none need to exist in this realm of sameness amongst all of us? So today I'd like to finish with one more quotation, and I want you to remember that this is a beautiful space to recognize. This is not easy to think of others as the same as us. This is very easy. In fact, this is a very easy thing to recognize. It's so basic and it's so understandable. But is it a space that you act from, is what I'd like you to think about for 5 minutes. And if you don't, then do it. Act now, right now. Change your thought about how you're thinking about how those people are so different from you. There are no others. I remember I was sharing this with a client just yesterday that there's this quotation, I believe, by the Buddha, where his disciples, a group that he was teaching, asked him, okay, so we understand what's going on, but okay, so we're understanding this, but how will we tell the others? And he said, there are no others. And this is so important. This is truth. There are no others. We are all one. And let's start acting that way. Finally, I want to finish with this quotation by Wayne Dyer. And it says, conflict cannot survive without your participation. Conflict cannot survive without your participation. So we all can contribute to conflict, or we can not participate in it. And that means right from our thoughts, and that means right from our words, with who we speak to, how we speak with them. Is it with kindness and consideration, with true understanding that they are the same as us? They want a connection. We want connection with each other. We are related to one another. We are in constant interaction with each other energetically, and then sometimes verbally, and then sometimes physically. And can you put that love and compassion into each communication you have? Because we all can, and that will make a difference. I believe this strongly, and I hope that you will practice it from this moment on. And I hope you have a fantastic evening ahead. I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.